And welcome back, boys and girls, to the Musings of Maverick channel. It's Maverick here. Today, we're watching the finale of Kamisama ni Natta Hi. So, at this point, there's really not much else to say, right? All the criticisms that I've had of the series, good and bad, I've already said in the previous episodes. At this point, we can only see what exactly the ending is going to be and then make a full critique based on that. Now, personally, I don't really feel that, whichever kind of ending the story goes is going to affect my opinion that much. Once again, to remind everybody, at this point, I'm more expecting a semi-happy ending, right? Where Yoda and Shiba, we saw them have about to be in a conflict last episode because Shiba apparently has discovered Yoda's true identity, right? However, I do believe that both of them hope the best for Hina. So what I'm thinking here is that the most logical ending here, and still maintaining some of the good feels at the same time, would be for Hina to eventually kind of recognize Yoda, and then Yoda and Shiba will work together in the future to gradually rehab Hina and then try and make her back into a normal girl again, right? Or I guess I can't really say again, but since the original Hina without any artificial enhancement was already like this, right? But in any case, that's my take on the situation. I think we should just go into it and see what the ending's gonna be. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Is this going to turn out to be an overhyped work from Maeda-san? Or is it going to be, worthy of his name? The day you choose. Of the way things are going, probably. Well, actually, I'm not gonna do any guessing right now. Let's just see what happens. his own. Yeah, I thought so. There's other patients here as well. Although I'm not quite sure they have the authority to beat him up, though. What? What? And then after all that, you still take her out here? How does that even make sense? Yota! Or something. Uh, and right into the arms. But there's still like so much.
その今の日何も言わなくていい。お前の顔を見ればわかる。
兄貴、やるときはやるし、見直したし。
僕は温かな家族に感謝した。それはみんなに対しても同じだ。
おかえりなさい。おかえりなさい、ひなちゃん。
髪切ったんだな。
かわいいじゃない。いつもの服は。
あれがないとひなっぽくないよね。
これじゃあ映画の続きが撮れないし。
絶対必要だよな。
確かに。
そう、天眼さんに同意された。
なんで人をひねくれ者みたいに。
ひながこんなに変わってしまっても、みんなはあの夏の続きを送りたいと言ってくれてるんだ。
私のつてならオーダーメイドでちゃちゃっと作れるけど。
さすが芸能人だったらお願いします。どんな
No, not the power of being a celebrity, the power of having money. Oh, basketball.
久々にやるか。よし、やろう。いいかい、ひな。あの輪っかに下投げでいいから力いっぱい投げてもらう。
Alright, we're coming like full circle.
そうだ。
Yeah.
俺に興味を持ったんだ。もしかしてひなと出会ってやってきたことって全部ひなが普通の人。
Hey, you're also a heroine of an anime series. Oh. You might like want to lift her up or something. I'm actually surprised she actually has the muscles to do that. True. You guys... Guys. I don't...
僕が相手役の少年。二人が主演の映画を撮っていたんだよ。その続きを撮るんだ。まずはここまでまっすぐ背筋を伸ばして歩くだけ。
頑張って。頑張れ、ひなちゃん。いつまでも待つし。
お前ならできる。ゆっくりでいい。ここまでおいで。いいよ。そのままこっちだよ、ひな。ゆっくり。よくやったね、ひな。
So yeah, kind of. There we go. I guess they just skipped the part where, she still has to stay at a facility. But pretty much the path of where he chooses a future to help Hina. I'm just wondering, like, why is there so much time left in this anime? They graduated, they got into a good college. Oh. So it's gonna be part Hina. Is this going to be like? Is this going to be like her second kind of awakening or something of that sort? Karma. Karuma. Okay, we now have a show within a show. Oh. Nice special effects. That's some pretty good acting from Yoda. Okay. So, kind of like a microcosm of the entire show. Huh. Okay, they basically green screen anything. They combined it together. Whew. Mm. What kind of acting is that? It's funny. Yeah. You know, they should make it a series. And maybe call it something like, I don't know, like maybe a god becoming a god? Or whatnot? That's an interesting usage, though. Hmm. It's very nice. Kind of like the 5th episode, calling back to the 5th episode as well. Yay! So is it just going to be... Alright. All the various seasons? Are the years actually going to go by as well? The days that became a treasure. That's the name of the song. That's it. Maybe like one final artwork? No? The day I become a god. Alright, see you guys after this. Okay, guys, that was the end of Kamisama Natta Hi, and, well, I don't know how you guys feel, but I am definitely not all that feeling it, right? But, one thing at a time, right? I will talk more at the end about my feelings on the entire series as a whole. Let's just focus on this episode first. So, at the end of the day, it turned out to be that Hina knew about Yuta all along because, yeah, I'm throwing away the picture because Yoda's already here, apparently. It's basically some kind of miracle, right? And I highly question, like, what was the point of the last 2 episodes where Hina basically was pushing Yoda away at that time too, and then all of a sudden she's okay with him again? Like, hello? Is this just her trying to throw a tantrum like she does normally against Yoda? It certainly didn't seem that way, right? So, I mean, sure, fine, whatever. But if we do want to go for the more kind of happy ending kind of route, I fine, right? So, we can't really say it's. I feel like this is kind of between, when I was saying that the 3 different directions, the happy ending, the semi-happy ending, and then the bad ending or sad ending. This one falls a little bit between the happy ending and the semi-happy ending, right? Because, honestly, I feel like what would have been... It kind of had some aspects of the semi-happy ending I was talking about, where Yuta eventually devotes his life to trying to help Hina's situation and all that. But, and the major difference is they managed to bring Hina back within the family already, which to me makes absolutely no sense. And it actually makes me kind of angry in a way, because, I'll talk about that a little bit later. But, not quite a full recovery, full miracle, right? But more leaning towards that part where she does recognize Yoda and and all that. So fine. And then we get into the rest of the episode, which is okay, continuing on making the movie, finishing the film and whatnot. I can see why they did it, and to their credit, I did actually like the scene where, we had Hina with an after credits scene after the film project, right? So we had Hina, while she still had her consciousness and whatnot, basically saying why she wanted to do this, and I thought it was a clever way to allow us to see that Hina once again, not only on screen, but also having some final closure from her, right? Because we didn't really get a final closure from her when she was taken away. Now we finally got that final closure from Hina. So I did like that. I felt that was a pretty clever use of the film, and it's actually a nice foreshadowing from episode 5 as well, where Kyoko's mom also utilized a similar method, right? So I did like that callback there. That was a nice usage of it. I will give them credit for that. And obviously, the music throughout the entire episode was quite stellar as well. It had the right emotional touch to it, I guess you could say. However, the rest of it is just, I don't know. It just, I mean, the problems from it stem from much, much earlier, right? It's not just something that you can fix with... It's not like I can just say, okay, for this episode, they could have structured it in this way, that way, whatever, and that would make it better, right? I don't particularly think so. But the one thing I will point out right now for this particular episode is the point where they basically just brought Hina back, and then apparently they are already allowing her to do all these kinds of extraneous activities. Like, no, that's not how it works, okay? She is a girl who is suffering from muscle atrophy, and now I don't know, to me, it kind of, even though, of course, we want her to have a family, I feel like there are better ways to show that, rather than just her completely, just willy-nilly bringing Hina back from the facility all the way back to home, and just apparently being able to care for her right there, right? No, you need professional facilities, you need professionals to help with that process. So, that's why I keep on saying, the best solution would be for Shiba to understand Yuda's position, and then also volunteer to help Hina as well, right? From a professional perspective, having the facilities. It's not just a case of, okay, I'm just gonna massage her legs and whatnot, and that's gonna solve all the problems. No, she needs physical therapy. She needs a therapy regime. She needs to be on potentially being on different kinds of treatments as well, either some, some genetic types of treatments, or at least electrotherapy, that kind of stuff. It's not just a case where you can just bring someone like that home and then expect everything to be fine, all right? And actually, I don't know, the reason why it kind of makes me angry is I feel like they are really oversimplifying the situation, and then, some people are going to use this as saying, hey, so why can't we do that with some people who actually are in that position as well, right? Like maybe having some mental retardation, or so on and so forth, suffering from muscular atrophy, that kind of stuff. No, that's not how it works, okay? So, all right, but that's getting kind of too into it, right? So fine. Continuing on, okay, let's talk a little bit about the series as a whole now, right? Because now that the series has completely concluded, this is basically Flowers for Algernon with a slightly better ending, right? Flowers for Algernon, for those of you who don't know, which I think a lot of people should know, this novel, it is a pretty old novel by, who's it by? Daniel Keyes, Flowers for Algernon, which basically has the same sort of premise, right? It had somebody who was originally, not suffering from suffering from a disease of some sort, so having very very low mental capabilities and whatnot, and then undergoing some revolutionary treatments, suddenly became a genius, and then, it was completely fleeting, it was only temporary. Eventually, the guy did everything that he wanted to do, and then reverted back to his original state, right? Flowers for Algernon, go look it up. I do think it's quite a brilliant piece of work. And this was basically it, with a good twist at the end, right? Because contrary to the novel, where he eventually became all alone and whatnot, with nobody to care for him, in this case, Hina did have a family around her, right? So while it kind of builds on a good ending for that, once again, what's Maeda-san talking about, in terms of this being a very ultra sad anime, or what, a very ultra sad work? I mean, hello? No, it's not. If you really wanted to go the sad route, there are plenty of different methods to actually make it sad. You can still have a happy ending at the end, right? But or at least a semi-happy ending at the end, right? But there's a lot of, I don't know, maybe I'm just being a little bit too heartless here, but if you really want to say this is something that's going to, that's causing you to clutch your heart and being like, oh my god, how could this happen? Really feel the anguish and whatnot, there's so many ways they could have really made the series a lot sadder and darker, right? Like, for instance, I'm just gonna raise a few examples. This is completely out of the blue here. Like, for example, the scene where Hina is being taken away, right? Yoda and the others were never, even to this point, they still don't completely understand, what it's actually all about and what the forces behind it are. So let's say, for example, in the original situation of Hina being taken away and whatnot, sure, Yoda and the others did their best to stop them. The situation was explained to them. Hina said, yeah, this is what I'm choosing. This is what I think is correct. I am going to go with them, and then for Yoda to let go of her hand at that point, right, and allow her to go, right? And then later on, when she sees how Hina has become, he's going to feel the guilt on himself, right? He's going to feel the anguish on himself. He's going to be like, holy shit, I killed Hina with my own hands as well by letting go of her, right? Like that kind of thing. But that's I feel like that kind of development could have added a lot more to the sort of sadness of the entire series, or heck, maybe just even allowing them to know that they are in such a helpless position, right? Because it's not just a case of some bad guy, some random bad guys or some random bad organization taking away Hina. It's literally the powers combined of the most powerful nations in the world, right, and including Japan's own government behind this. So it could have helped to realize the gravity of the situation and how they are so helpless in that situation as well. That would also add to the sadness, to the anguish of the series. Or heck, even at the very end here, right? Like what I was talking about in terms of the muscular atrophy and whatnot. Maybe while they are suddenly all there, like giggling and happy, and then encouraging her to do the movie and whatnot, it really dawns. It's suddenly Hina gets into starts spasming out or something or whatnot, and then they finally realize that, hey, life is not that easy. Miracles don't really come cheap, and she needs professional help as well. She needs a professional facility in order to help her rehab. You need to do these things gradually, right? That could also be, a turning point within this final ending as well, where they realize, hey, things aren't just going to be all smooth sailing from now on. We do have things that we need to take care of. We do have that sort of, that sort of threat looming over everything, right? And you could still, have a situation where, yeah, she is surrounded by family and friends, so everything's gonna be alright, we can look forward to the future, but, place a little bit more restrictions on it and not make it so miraculous, if you will, right? And by all means, I'm not saying that this is how they should have done. I'm just saying that I can literally throw out tons of ideas how to actually make it much more sadder and having a bigger emotional impact on everything, instead of just everything kind of sort of working out in the end. And this probably segues nicely into my next point, right? Which is what I've been talking about for the last 3 or 4 episodes, and that is the character development and how it is entirely nonsensical, right? And by this, I mean, like, for instance, the relationship between Yoda and Hina, right? So apparently it's not just a familial kind of love kind of situation. It's actually romantic inclinations between these two. Like, what? Where did that appear out of nowhere? Like, sure, we saw some hints of it from Hina's side and whatnot, but excuse me, what exactly did they do with each other that kind of felt like things that a couple would do? Hello? Did we get any hints of that, or even any inkling of it? Did anybody actually view these two as romantic interests for each other before, I don't know, before like episode 7 or something, right before they started filming the movie? Did people actually think that way? I certainly did not at all. I thought it was kind of sort of like a sibling relationship that they had, right? Hina being the little sister, Yoda being the older brother, that kind of thing. Apparently, it suddenly turned into a romantic relationship out of nowhere? Okay, fine then. But no, it's not fine. Where's the development here? You can't just suddenly throw this out and then expect, at least me, right? I can't just look at it and say, okay, yeah, fine, apparently these two are a thing now. That doesn't really make sense. And that includes all the rest of the characters as well. Like I said, one of the biggest problems I have is the characters themselves don't really feel, I don't know, it's especially Tengen's character, right? Like, what the hell is she doing with these kids? She is a working woman, a lawyer, and whatnot. What's she doing hanging out with all these kids? I mean, hello? Excuse me? Right? And then also, like, if you want to have that scene was it last episode or episode 10, where, all the people were like, yeah, I really miss Hina, and we all love her, I love her, please bring her back, and whatnot. Like, they barely even interacted with each other. The only real episode that showed us, with them actually talking to each other and whatnot was perhaps, like, I'm serious. Let's go. Somebody should go. If you're interested, you could go back and count throughout these 12 episodes how many times Hina has actually spoken with characters other than Yoda, right? Yeah, or at least, privately, a one-on-one kind of situation with any other character while Yoda was not there, or she wasn't talking about something related to Yoda or related to one of her plans, right? None. So, excuse me, suddenly everybody loves this girl and are rooting for Yoda to bring her back? Hello? I mean, does that really make sense? No, it does not. If you want to have that kind of emotional kind of feeling and whatnot, you want us to have these emotional feels, you gotta build it up. You can't just put a sad scene or a sad situation there out of nowhere and then expect us to say, yeah, that's so sad. Oh, I love this show so much, right? I don't really want to sound too snarky here or too sarcastic here, but really, I just don't understand this show at all, and what exactly we're supposed to be feeling throughout all this, because none of the characters, none of their actions really make much sense, right? And All right, so what are the pluses of this anime, right? I kind of went on a big rant here, but are there things I enjoyed from this anime? Obviously, of course, right? The first few episodes were quite funny in their own way, like all the way up to episode, I don't know, 6 or 7 or something. The first half, basically, and don't get me wrong, it's not like I don't like a sad anime or whatnot, but I just really feel like they did not really properly develop the situation well. One of my favorite animes of all time, Gintama, does this, super well, right? It's entirely able to, literally at a flip of a page, change from something extremely funny, right? Like roll on for laughing kind of funny into a situation where you almost want to bawl your eyes out, right? But why are they able to make this kind of drastic change? It's because they build up the backstory of the characters at that point. So when something important actually happens, you understand the situation fully. You feel for the characters. You know what they're feeling, and you can empathize with them and whatnot, and that's how you really tug at people's heartstrings, right? So, we needed to have that instead of this kind of, and again, since this is only a 12-episode anime, right? Like, even during the sort of comedy bits, if you will, we can't just look at it from a pure comedy standpoint. The jokes are funny, that's one thing. If you don't utilize that opportunity to build up your characters, their relationships with each other, their own backgrounds, how their characteristics are, and so on and so forth, it's just there, right? It's just there as comedic filler, and that helps no one. That honestly helps no one. Like, for instance, the Mahjong episode, right? What purpose did that achieve beyond introducing us to the character Tengen, who, again, I have no idea why she is being included as part of this little group here, right? Like seriously, what role does she fill? How does that make sense in any way? Why do we need a working class, a working lawyer to join this? What was the point of that entire Mahjong episode there? Like, did any specific relationship happen with each other, or whatnot? Like, did it help Yuta get closer to Kyoko? Did it help him get closer to Ashura? Did it help him get closer to Hina? Did it help Hina get closer to those other two? Like, what was the point of that episode beyond being a comedy, right? And, you can say that it's funny, you can say it's not funny, but at the end of the day, that's still wasted time that they could have been doing, further developing the characters. Alright, I feel like I'm talking way too much of this series at this point. So, sorry guys, for those of you who do really like it or whatnot, I hate to be like a dick to people and shit on people who like this work. So, I just feel that it's definitely not living up to the hype that it commanded due to Maeda-san being behind the helms, alright? And that's basically it. So, there are a lot of flaws within the story itself, within the characters. The music is fantastic, but, I can just listen to the soundtrack, right? So, anyways, that's it for episode 12 of Kamisama ni Natta Hi and the series overall. And if you do still, think my points are valid criticisms and whatnot, and you do like this kind of style, feel free to check out all my other works. If you disagree, feel free to comment down below why you disagree, why you feel for this particular anime and whatnot. I welcome all opinions as well. So, yeah, and go check out my other works, or maybe not, and if not, maybe I will see you guys in another anime in another season. So, with that being said, this is Maverick signing off. Bye-bye.